Hi everyone. Let me put my headphones in. I just wanted to go over today, make a quick video, probably the first video that I'm gonna upload, on just how I've managed to get around $20,000 this past week or so, trading NQ futures on Deepcharts, specifically Orderflow. So for people that are curious, live account, obviously I'm gonna blur out purchasing power, stuff like that, but today P&L of $3,700. So I'm just gonna go over the order flow side of it. I'm not gonna go over options and how I use them. But coming into today, the first thing I'm gonna look at every single day is the volume profile. And oh shit. So the volume profile for the day is I have the cash session, which is this one right here, and the electronic trading hours session right here. And then obviously I have regular trading hours, which is just cash session. So what I'm gonna look for is the value area highs and lows and just areas of interest around there. So here, I can remove my drawings on these. So in here, I'm looking at this value area low, and this value area high with that high volume node. So you can already see how we react off of both of those. I also can take into account this value area low down here, but what will be more likely is that I merge the two profiles and get this profile, which I can then, instead of taking that, I'm looking at this range right here with those large buyers stepping in. Do you see all that delta on the volume profile on the back? Large buyers, right? Buyers have heavily defended that level before. Assuming that they do it again, it will be at that zone. And then I would obviously also look at the delta and the sellers up here, which we don't reach. So now that I have my framing for the day and my areas of interest, how do I trade off of these zones? So we come into the zone, into New York. New York opens right here. I'm not taking any trades before 9:30. We come in, and the other thing that I'm looking at is, actually I'll do it on this chart since it's a little easier to see. The other thing that I'm looking at is I'm gonna be looking at around the point of control and around where the most volume is transacted. So where's that gonna be right here? Is it's gonna be in the middle over here. You see this red box that I have drawn? The largest amount of sellers was in here. So I'm just gonna observe this zone and how we, probably around there, and how we react. So that's the zone that I have marked out over there. So we come into the session, and all I'm expecting to see is absorption or exhaustion at these key levels. So we have that large selling delta right there. So that's a key level for me. And what happens when we come into New York? We react to that, sellers get absorbed at the bottom, and that's a long opportunity for some people. I didn't take the long because there wasn't enough reaction inside of there. Or not enough reaction, but enough time for me to enter there. I would have ignored this absorption on the wick right here, although it's at VWAP, it's 9:30 open, it's volatile, it's not worth it. So you could have entered there had you predicted the absorption. Me personally, I'm gonna wait for something better. So we come in, and this area right here is starting to get super interested to me, because look how many sellers are getting active in this area, also down here. They're trying to protect the zone up here. So that's, if I have this bearish bias, or not bearish bias, but bearish trade that I want to take, and we're coming up to this zone right here, I want to see this zone get broken through to have that continuation down. So we come in, and I'm not looking for anything in here because we're not getting reactions that I want. Finally, we get absorption of buyers, 122 buy contracts absorbed right on VWAP. What can I do? I can enter shorts And I took a loss, I think, trying to catch continuation longs here. And then my targets were, I'm gonna bring this over now, were these single prints. So this print right down here at 603. Right about there. $5,615. I tried to continue and I got traded out at around 631. So looking at the analysis like throughout the trade, because I think that's also important to know where to trail to and stuff, is okay, so I've got my entry now. I don't know why I removed that. I've got my entry, I'm entered on this level right here. What am I expecting to see once we return here? Sellers to get aggressive and to break through, right? So coming into here, this blue box is going to be important because we also saw these sellers get absorbed here, but there's not a lot of reason why. So I have the DOM, I have DeepDOM as well. And on there, I start getting notifications that there's an iceberg. So we get reactions, we bounce off of it once here and then again, and we come back up. And I want to see sellers start to get, again, aggressive in here. And you can see buyers are getting absorbed. And then we plummet again, right? This is good. This close below this zone is exactly what I wanted to see to have confidence that we were just going to collapse, right? And that's exactly what we did for the rest of the day. I took profits out here. I'm not looking to get 30 grand every single trade. I'm looking to get profit and to be out of the market. That's consistency. So again, I'm risking about, I'd say, $170 there for 5 grand. Yeah, 5.6 grand. And that's in a single session. And that not only makes up for losses I took there, but also losses that I took the other days, whatever, etc. Right? So yeah, that's a great example of how you can use volume profile and value area high and value area low to make these entries. So let's go to another day right here. So coming into the day on, I believe this was the 12th. So this was either Thursday or Friday. I think it's Friday. Yeah, this is Friday. Yeah, Friday. So we come on Friday, right? And immediately what I'm noticing is the skewed profiles, right? And yeah. So let me zoom out on this one. So we have high volume node right here, right? That's again area of interest. We also have this one. That one gets broken and ran through. Here, this isn't a profile that I'd composite just because this value area is extremely far away from this one. Like, I'd be more likely to combine these two, and even then I wouldn't do that. So cash session profile is skewed. Obviously, I'm not going to pay attention to that. That's I'm not going to go off of a bearish bias just because of that. I'm going to take into account overnight session. That's a P. I take that. Buys are in favor. I go off of long. How do I enter again? Good question. Absorption. You're going to move back up. Sellers now, there's effort and result. There's no effort there's an effort from the sellers with no result. We react off to the level. We're near VWAP. We come back in. I enter off of deep effort, which is just Fabio's 40 range chart. And that's, I believe, $9,000 when targeting single prints, right? Pretty textbook stuff. Again, I can look into where the most volume was transacted that session. I sellers around at the point of control. Heavy buyers are in control of the point of control. Sellers are in control right here. Sellers are in control right here. So I want to see this level not hold and the other one hold. So let me just color these different. So I want to see, oh wait, this one. So I want to see this level of sellers not hold and get run through, and the other one So, what do we see? Let's trade. Sellers push through, we break through, we react off of it at the open. Come down, push through, consolidate inside it, push through again, and then we get take profit. So, every single time we start failing, I'm like moving my stop loss, right? Until I can see a clean push forward above this zone, I'm not even considering going anywhere further than break even, because all I know is we have a move like this, we come down, and then we spring back up to TP. I know statistically that if this is the right bias for the day, my single prints are getting hit, if that makes sense. My targets are getting hit almost 90% of the time. So yeah, that's just how I've been using Deepcharts Orderflow software to be up around, I'd say, 20 grand in the past week and a half, I'd say. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found it helpful. If there's anything that's like confusing, just go over it with me. Or that you want me to go over, I can. I can go over how I use IVB as well, stuff like that. Anyways, thank you.